Hi guys, welcome back to our
I
M
Rim
podcast. Yay! This is
So
the second.
today-
This is the second.
So today we will talk about our favorite artworks, connecting it to Bodyards and Benjamin's
reading.
Yay! Okay, before we talk about our favorite artists, we're gonna explain to you briefly what the readings are about.
Should we start with Benjamin's The Work of Art in the Age of Mechanical Reproduction?
That
Yeah.
would be good.
I feel like it speaks for itself.
Okay.
Yeah.
So basically, Benjamin talks about aura.
Yeah.
Aura.
How art loses its aura or authenticity when it is mass produced.
Yeah, when it is like it loses its unique presence because it is mass produced, and you don't really get to see or feel the raw emotions that you have that the artwork has.
Yeah, it's like their presence lacks in space and time when they are reproduced.
So like basically an example is if you own a mini statue of the David statue, it's not gonna have as much oomph as like the real statue. It's just a copy of it.
Then next is
Baudrillard's reading.
Simulation and
stimulation and simulacra. Okay. From what I understood from simulation and simulacra, it's basically what's the term again?
reality.
Oh,
The
yeah,
absence of reality.
Yeah, the absence of reality, and
How it was replaced by illusion.
yes. How about you now?
In connection to like art and stuff, it is a reflection of reality. Art's a reflection of reality, whether it's meant to expose it or escape from the reality itself. So it can hold up a mirror to those unaware of their current reality and serve as a wake-up call for them to acknowledge their existence and place into hyper-reality or pure simulacra. So
So now let's proceed to our favorite art.
artworks.
So my artwork is Sundown, from an animation short film from the Goblins Institute of Animation and Fine Arts. I don't know.
Okay, let's watch that first.
Not a sign, apparently. Sometimes I wonder, am I the only one here who cares about this show?
Chill out. He'll show eventually.
Eventually? We're on in 10 minutes. Honestly, I'm telling you, if he doesn't show up on time, I swear.
You think he's not coming? Oh my god, it's my fault. He probably doesn't want to pair up with me.
Wait, what?
So I think this film does a really good job of like portraying the feelings of stress, even if it's like portraying it in a very warm and sunset-like color palette, which contrasts to the stressful nature of the character situation, all while continuous drumming elevates the stakes and amplifies the dire situation. So, in the context of Benjamin's reading, the short film being on YouTube, a public video platform, makes the experience of viewing the film accessible to everyone. So everyone who has YouTube can watch it. And it widens its influence on others, either to pursue animation or to create a short film on their own. At least, like, that's how I felt when I was watching it. As a viewer, I felt very inspired by the artistry of the film and how it was created. And a lot of the times indie animations don't get as much, like, they don't get as much exposure as like animations from Disney and stuff. So I think it was really cool for them to like have like a channel dedicated to like showing these contained artworks, and like I just think it's really cool. So, yeah.
How about you? How about the readings of Baudrillard?
Yeah, how could you connect it to
Yeah, the
Question.
simulation.
Good question. I feel like a lot because I saw in a lot of the comments that they found the environment and the setting of the film very nostalgic and very pleasing, not only to the eye but to like the mind as well. So I feel like there is a sense of escapism when it comes to the setting of the film, where it's a festival. You're meant to have fun in a festival, and I think that seeing this snippet into like these characters' lives, it kind of gives the sense that we're just spectators and stuff, but at the same time the way that it's presented is it's very atmospheric, and the sound effects are very they're very well made, and they evoke a lot of emotion and nostalgia in like that kind of
Next, moving on
To my favorite artwork, which is like Mads, is uncommon from others' favorite artwork. So my favorite artwork was our adaptation of Himala, but we add some we add some unique touch to it since we made it into musical. So here's the poster, guys.
Okay,
Are you-
before you start, can I ask, is it really big, like, the sentimental value to you? Did you play a big role on the play?
Yeah,
That's why you like it.
yeah, I'm one of the main directors, so I'm really hands-on, like to costumes, to the script, and how we integrate songs into dialogues.
Yeah.
So when I first read the "What's your favorite artwork?" that first comes to my mind because I'm really not into musical plays. So when I was given the task to be one of the main directors, I feel so pressured because I don't really know how this field works. So are you aware of Himala, played by Nora Honor?
No, I'm not.
But are you aware of the famous line, "Walang Himala"?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ang Himala.
Oh yeah,
and,
yeah, and nasa
So
puso
even
mo.
even if you're not familiar with the play, you can be familiar with the line.
Yeah, that line. So, it's a 1982 film by Ishmael Bernal, which talks about blind faith. So, the main plot of it was Nora Honor, which is commonly... Oh wait, her character is named Elsa. So, it's about her seeing a Virgin Mary on a barren hill. Then, after seeing that vision, she suddenly have power to heal people. But it's not scientifically proven that it's real. Parang it's just a belief of the people. So how do I integrate simulation from it is that, wait, how do you call this? Like,
The image kind of like, from what I heard from your summary, the image kind of creates like a simulation of like they're the chosen people. Is it like that? Or
yeah, parang they're not really into Elsa's power, but the idea that she can heal. Oh yeah. Then connecting it with Benjamin's mechanical reproduction, since our play is just an adaptation, parang I realized that it lacks its authenticity or aura. But if you think of it like it's a film, so parang yung actors, they're really not into self. Like, they show their performative self by the camera lens and how the director cuts the scenes. So it loses its authenticity. So yeah.
How about body arts? How did you connect it to simulation?
Oh yeah, the blind faith of the people. Like what Ma'am said before, like yung example niya sa image of Mama Mary, like its presence highlights its absence.
So now we will move to my favorite artwork, which is a very common artwork. I mean, not common, but you can hear about it all the time. It's Polarium by our national artist, Juan Luna. So I'll show it to you, just in case you guys forgot what Polarium is. Okay, now that we've seen it, looking back, I've always seen Polarium as like one of the biggest painting because you can always see it in textbooks or social media. I've always thought of it as like a representation of Filipino history and Filipino suffering during the Spaniards' time, as you can see from the background on when it was painted. But I realized that it is presented to me through media, or most of the time I saw it in the textbooks when I was young, and I realized that it loses its aura and I didn't have any emotional connection to it because of course it's presented through textbooks and like social media. As what Benjamin points out, that the more it is reproduced or replicated, the more it loses its unique presence or its aura. And instead of seeing the original in person and feeling the emotion, I was engaging with a simulacrum, as what Baudrillard would say, wherein we are represented, or our definitions of it are depends on how it was presented to us. Like as what I said, textbooks or social media.
So, like a person who's only seen this polarium in the museum will have a different like perception of it as like you who saw it in like a textbook.
Oh yeah, I realized that maybe my interpretation of Spolarium is more on the mediated side, and I really couldn't understand the feeling. So last May or July last year, I went to National Museum and I've seen it in person.
It's so big, right?
Yeah, it's so big and
Compared to what you see.
Yeah, it was huge. It was like I felt goosebumps when I see it.
Yeah, like you can literally see the details.
Yeah, and you had an emotional connection to it. I don't know, it feels sad when you see the painting.
Yeah,
Like,
you can really see the pain in it.
yeah, you can connect to it like how they say in textbooks. And you would see na parang it's very different talaga when you feel its aura, when you feel its presence,
Yeah.
IRL, rather than just looking at textbooks and being replicated.
I guess it adds because you see it in a museum. Like
Yeah.
yung
It's curated
Yeah.
to look. They light it in such a way that it makes it look nice. It highlights its details.
Yeah.
I think that's what Ma'am said. Something similar to like when you see an artwork in a museum, it's curated for you to look at and for you to like marvel at the details. In Splaren's case, it's very big and it's very well lit.
And the fact that in social media or in textbook, it looks so small. But when I went there, it was so big. Like I wasn't even half of the painting.
Yeah, I feel like I think relating to what you said, I did go to the museum where it was held a long time ago, and there was like 40 plus of us going to that museum, and like we didn't even fill up half the painting when we were taking a picture with it. So
you're really not aware of what the painting looks. If you heard the words polarium, maybe you can. What comes into your mind? Maybe the music.
Yeah, the music of Eraserheads.
oh yeah, and if that's like the only way you heard about the term spolarium,
You might get confused.
you might get
to what
confused.
you're-
But then when you see the painting, it can add to the experience.
Yeah.
Yeah, it can add to the experience. I really like the painting you picked. It's very
Disturbing.
it's disturbing, but I
Super
really like it. It's a very morbid depiction of what would otherwise be like a very important scene in the Bible, right? I think. Is it in the Bible?
I'm not sure.
I'm pretty sure because it was like during like when Jesus was being like persecuted. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. And then like the other like the townspeople were like worried about him or something like that. So
Okay, so that's it. Thank you guys for listening to our
R.I. podcast.
podcast. Thank you for watching. Subscribe.
see you again next time.
I hope.